For his moment, as Brandon continues to speak without pausing, even for breath. More guests, chats, and sometimes even staying on topic. Wildcast Live! Wild Space Wildcast! Across hyperspace rivers we ride tonight, through worlds of steel and neon light, exploring stories far and wide, with chaos always by our side. Wild Space Saga on YouTube, Wild Space Saga Live. Pirates, tanks, strange worlds collide. Wild Space Saga Live. Brandon's still talking somewhere out there. Terry's trying to get a word in. Wild Space Saga Live. Wild Space Wildcast Go.
All right, greetings YouTube. This is Brandon Hill here with Terrence Paxis and of course our resident grumpy old man today. And together Terry and I are the creators of Wild Space Saga, the epic sci-fi action adventure series you didn't know you needed. And this is the Wild Space Saga Wildcast, made specifically to tell you exactly why you need it, and as we've been around for a hot minute in relative silence on DeviantArt, what you've been missing. But before we begin, please make a moment to subscribe and hit that beautiful notification bell, so that you won't miss a single bit of news, events, and live streams from our channel. And whether you catch us live or are watching after the fact, we want you to join us on the Northwest Passage. And finally, if we piqued your interest, links to our books available in paperback and ebook, as well as everywhere else you can find us on the social medias, are available down in the doobly-doo. And once again, though, shameless plug for our newest book, The Twisted Faith, our third in our Wild Space Saga series. Great book, available on Amazon, available in paperback and hardcover and ebook, and wherever you can find where you can find fine books, you get a chance to pick up a copy. You gotta love it. All right, guys, and Michael, welcome back. Welcome back, man.
Hey.
Yeah, kind of missed you last time. Last week we were still kind of going on and on about our
No, we were graced with the man with no neck, so...
Yeah, and we kind of finished a little bit talking about AI and whatnot, and then we kind of let that segue into talking about the androids from our Wild
I
Space
put my
Saga.
2 cents worth in.
Well, and I apologize that I didn't get a chance. I know, Terry, you had a bone to pick with me about the AI thing. So, you feel free to pick my bones all you want. I'm okay with it.
It's not necessarily a bone to pick with you. It's more a case of, and I kind of discussed it with Brandon, was I would have probably had a bit more of a pushback into more of a debate and a discussion than maybe Brandon did, where
Right.
Brandon sort of sat quietly while you guys put your views across, slightly unchallenged, and I would have probably had more of a back and forth with you,
Sure.
So where I could only do it in the chat, and obviously the chat does get missed, it was quite frustrating because it felt like, how it can easily be misconstrued as being ignored.
Yeah, and that's always a frustration when you're doing any kind of live stream show on a platform like this, is that if you're in the chat and they don't respond to you right away, you're like, do they even see me? Do they know I exist?
I wasn't in a place where I could join the stream like this,
Right.
you see, because I was away. But I could join via the chat. So, it's probably more, I would have been more back and forth, where Brandon was a little bit more sort of sit back and let you speak kind of thing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. That's Brandon for you. He's kind of a wuss. But hey, that's all right.
Hey, I was giving.
We all know I'm the confrontational one of the pair, trust me.
The floor because I was trying to be nice.
Nice wuss, same thing.
Look at being nice, Brandon. It's the internet.
Hey, I'm not one of those non-confrontational types. Okay.
You need to unleash Dark Brandon for that. That's what you need.
But I already am Dark Brandon.
I was going to say, I think that ship has sailed.
And I'm drinking dark roast.
Is it darker Brandon we need?
Yeah, darker Brandon.
but then, if I go to night school, they'll mark me absent.
Well, don't go to night school.
But I also work at night. So mark I'm gonna lose my job, man. Okay. Anyway, I think we milked that joke for all it's worth. All right, and great greetings again to Niall here, our resident man with no neck, and he does have a question he brought up. Lord question 1, he says, do you have cuisines in the same way we do? I assume it's not known as Chinese, but I think you're thinking of Tentagel, and no, Tentagel's culture is Chinese, but yeah, you want Chinese culture, probably would go more go to Zhao, and also some places on Hana 4, but mostly Zhao. But no, it wouldn't be called Zhao. They still do carry the certain names, but they do have various types of cuisine because different planets do have different creatures that are edible. There's like, for one thing, there's a particular a particular creature that they ship, from planet to planet. In some worlds, it's even become an invasive species because of this. They call it an ankle biter, and it looks like something like a crab or a lobster, but with a huge mouth full of the mouth looks like a big claw, full of big teeth, and it's about the size of a human hand. And yeah, so they're known for if you accidentally step too near them, they will bite you. So yeah, they have to periodically.
So they're the angry chihuahua of space.
Yeah, are the oceans that for worlds where it has oceans that it can thrive.
I never really covered it for simplicity's sake myself. I just kind of went, they brought quite a lot with them, so a lot of the traditional stuff still exists. But
oh yeah, they do have.
Then we've got other creatures. Yeah, so I never really thought about it. I'll be honest. That's actually one that I've never covered. I covered just about every other aspect of this world, and yet the one thing I didn't think about was the food.
Well, thankfully, your boy has thought about it, because when I post those things with wildlife of Wild Space Saga on our DeviantArt page, and little shameless plug for our DeviantArt page, where we post a lot of our concept art and whatnot for Wild Space Saga. We do have some artwork that depicts various aspects of our amazing universe. And one of those things is the different flora and fauna of Wild Space Saga that I do on occasion. Those ones get a ton of views. But I posted some stuff about ankle biters. There's also another creature that's native to Saburna called a centipede eel, and they're a common food source. They're not the most pleasant animals. They're very much similar to a hagfish. Have you ever seen one of those fish that slimy stuff?
Is it the classic Crocodile Dundee? You can live on it, but it tastes like shit.
No, centipede eels actually taste really good. That's one of those types of animals that looks utterly disgusting, but you surprisingly is.
It's really one of those things that Brandon will put on the plate. Say, sure, go ahead, it's good. Taste it. Tastes like chicken. You'll love it.
I'm from Louisiana. Most things
exactly.
Like
so you probably think catfish is good.
It actually is quite good.
See, I rest my case.
You just ain't had good catfish.
Here's the thing. People say that all the time. But you know what good catfish is? It's catfish. And exactly, you throw a bunch of hot sauce on it and you say, see, isn't that good? But all you taste is the hot sauce. You're not tasting the fish because the fish tastes like dirt, and you know it.
If you're going to throw a lot of hot sauce on the catfish, you ain't cooked it right. I've had delicious catfish, and I hadn't had to put a drop of hot sauce on.
You can cook dirt any way you want. It still tastes like dirt. And
like catfish, I said, you got catfish that was not well cooked. That was not cooked well.
Terry, help me out here. Do you guys even have catfish in your side of the pond?
There's an old British phrase. You can't polish a turd.
Yeah. And Brandon's trying to cook.
Well, hey, no, Louisiana cuisine is not about polishing turds. The food
and let's be honest, catfish eat all the stuff off the bottom.
Catfish.
Catfish eat all the stuff off the bottom.
Exactly. That's why they taste they literally taste like dirt. And so you have to season them to death. And the thing is, don't get me wrong, I'm sure that with the right seasoning mix and all that, you can make it taste good. But you're not making catfish taste good. You're just tasting good seasoning on catfish. That same seasoning on, say, halibut would be 10 times better.
And I'm sorry, dude. As somebody who's eaten catfish all his life, I have to tell you, you are wrong.
You're just used to eating dirt. You don't understand what you're missing, man.
Dude,
there's two kinds of people in this.
It ain't even about putting a ton of seasoning on the food. It's just catfish tastes good if you cook it right.
There's another phrase I have for this. There's two kinds of people in this world: those who hate catfish and those who are wrong.
I agree, Terry. You're 100% right on that one.
To be honest, I've never eaten it, so I can't judge.
Well, you know what? Consider yourself lucky. Don't. I know you're in Great Britain, and the food in Great Britain is not exactly known for its incredible, robust flavor, but I guarantee you, it's better than catfish.
And I'm sorry, Finn's got my back. So
is Darren. Darren actually is on your side as well.
Yeah, well, the chat seems to be on Brandon's side, but that just shows us that the chat is that other kind of people that me and Terry are not.
Yeah, the wrong people with no taste buds. I'm not gonna take a Brit's. No offense, Terry. Not gonna take a Brit's opinion on that about the food. But no, in all sincerity, I've had food in the UK. It's actually not too bad.
Yeah, hang on, just scratching my chin. All right, just got this itch on my chin all of a sudden.
Oh man. Anyway, but let's get to the second question Niall had. Let me see here. He had lore question 2. Unique
about martial arts.
Are there any new kinds emerging of ours like Krav Maga meets wrestling, etc., or Anbo Jitsu if you love your Star Trek?
I'm not really.
Well,
I'm not really bothered with that because.
Actually,
for simplicity's sake, again.
There's one thing I did come up with, and I did mention it in the stories, and I said I talked about the what did I call? Give me a second.
Not Bullshido.
No,
Bullshido.
I called
Bullshido. Yeah.
I was kind of inspired by Equilibrium because I wanted Zerx to have a sort of gun kata-esque method of combat when he goes in with his guns, and I called it the clerical techniques, basically kind of like a nod to the Grammaton clerics of Equilibrium.
Yeah.
So,
to be fair, that's about as subtle as you get. So yeah, I mean, why not?
Yeah, and because we also have another character who's got a fighting style the same as Zerx because she taught him everything he knows, and he has the bruises and bullet wounds to prove it, and that is Sister Serenity. We have
which
pictures
is
of her on our...
apart from the Chuck Norris song, is our most viewed song and most favorited song on the entire list of Pantheon that I put on YouTube. People seem to like Sister Serenity for some reason.
People like nuns for some strange reason. Sometimes a little too much.
No, I mean just that particular song. So the title card is the only picture of her on YouTube.
Yeah, and he learned from a reformed tank named Sister Serenity, who taught him everything he knows, whether he wanted to or not. And so we have that kind of battle technique, but that's not as deep as we got it, at least thus far. We might do other things that, if we're inspired by it later on.
The reason I didn't really sort of bother is just because there's such a diverse range of martial arts as there already is in the world that trying to invent something feels a bit redundant. because of the sheer amount you can pick from in the world as it stands today.
Right. I think that, well, you run into the problem that you see in franchises like Star Trek, where it's like, how are you going to really sit there and try to develop an entire planetary culture? Because if you look at Earth, every culture that you know of is on Earth, one planet. But then you go to other planets, and for some reason, everybody fights with this one martial art. They eat this one kind of fish. They dress this one certain way. They have one certain type of architecture, because it's just difficult to write out an entire world as opposed to like a city or a state.
The closest I've ever seen. The closest I've ever seen on a TV show where they deal with an alien species that has multiple cultures is the Minbari in Babylon 5. They talk about they had 3 separate languages and 3 distinct cultures. But
never mind the Drazi system of picking a new government.
Huh?
And the Drazi system of choosing a new government where the purples fight the greens to the death.
Green. That too. But the Minbari, they were kind of specific about it because of their work, their religious caste, warrior class, and worker caste. System. Oh, and there was one slight mention in Alien Nation where the Tanktonese talked about 2 different types of main religions they have. One that focuses on Andarko and they have sort of an Adam and Eve figure. And then this other one that's more similar to Buddhism. So.
But yeah, it was something most common in Star Trek, where all the other alien races you met have a single appearance, a single culture, a single language, and a centralized government.
Yeah,
and it's
or there'll be 2 governments that are at war with each other.
Yeah, and I guess it's understandable again, as I've looked at it, for simplicity's sake. If you're featuring that race in an episode or in a series, it's just easier to portray this one facet of this world. I have to admit, when I was doing the song project for the Pirate Clans, Brandon will tell you that I did a song called "Written in a Blood Red Hair," which is about Alexa when she led the insurgents force against the tyrant on King's Night. Okay. I have 8 different variants of that song, from the full heavy rock version, the military tattoo version with bagpipes and heavy brass and snare drums, through to simple acoustic ones and ones where people perform in a tavern. Because I thought this is a massive worldwide cultural event. The song variants would vary around the entire world. Now, I didn't publish them all, obviously, because it's just a ridiculous amount on YouTube. But that's the kind of level I went to thinking about it, if you know what I mean, as to how the culture would then...
Well, I was going to say, just very, very briefly, to kind of bring all of this together into one concisive thing. When we talk about the nastiness of catfish and how it makes you want to puke and everything, and the idea of a martial
he is about
and Brandon's bullshit martial arts style, right, and all that, and we bring it all together. And we were talking about Star Trek a minute ago, so puke bullshit Star Trek. Did any of you guys watch Strange New Worlds this week with the puppets?
No, I did not.
No, I'm about 2 or 3 weeks behind on Strange New Worlds, unfortunately, because of work and events I've been on.
Behind on Strange New Worlds.
So
I'm telling
normally
you,
I go around to mates and watch it because he's got Paramount.
I've been in kind of a hiatus from YouTube for a while, but I'm really, really tempted to come back and bring back the old, really, really angry version of me after watching that episode.
Why not do it?
So bad, so bad.
The power of the dark side.
They literally, they literally were like, Scotty was working on improving the range of the transporters, kind of a nod to Star Trek 2009. And while he's working on it, he's showing Spock his favorite little puppet while he's messing with the transporters. He decides to beam his puppet in the transporter, and somehow the quantum signature of the puppet messes up the transporter and turns everybody into Muppets.
And this is what happens when you let millennials write Star Trek.
Yeah, I couldn't believe I was watching this. And the thing is, they knew they were puppets, but there were no puppet operators, so they didn't understand that. But they were working with the rules of being puppets. So, like, when one of them gets cut in half, they just sew them back together, and they're fine.
Oh God, this reminds me of that scene from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where the Heart of Gold was doing that quantum shift, and they were
like when there were couches and stuff.
They were all knit puppets for a few seconds.
It goes worse. I was thinking of the Happy Time murders.
And they were. God. Now there were moments.
Silly string. Oh God.
I will say this: there were moments of the episode that made me laugh, but they made me laugh in a way that, like, if I was watching the Muppet Show and this was a parody of Star Trek on the Muppet Show, that's what this episode was like. Except that the only human character was Spock. He was unaffected by this because he wasn't on the ship when it happened. And so it would be like if Spock was the host of the Muppet Show that week and they were doing a big old Star Trek thing, and which would have been hilarious. But since this was actual Star Trek, I was absolutely enraged that they have shit all over my favorite franchise of all time. And they had a scene, I am not even kidding, where Pike was trapped on one side of a glass partition and Spock was on the other, and they put their hands up exactly like in Star Trek II.
Michael, I think you need to stop. You're going to give me an aneurysm.
I was so angry when I saw that.
I just checked my color balance, but you've gone a bit red.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's not the color balance. That's me.
No, Joe. In fact, Darren has put it had to been pretty bad for you to speak ill of Strange New Worlds.
Yeah, Michael, you're looking like a boiled crawfish right there.
Oh
man.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Yeah, in the words of
not
Fry,
catfish.
Yeah, in the words
I
of
meant
Fry.
crawfish.
I know, not
Fry
catfish.
Fry from Futurama said it best when he said, "I am literally angry with rage." So yeah. So I had to get that off my chest. I apologize.
Hey, no problem.
Back to normal things. But yeah, that episode. Oh my gosh.
You see, I was able to shrug off the musical thing, but
you know what? I'm a defender of the musical. I really am. But this season,
you don't go scrubs with Star Trek, dude.
Well, no, the musical one worked. The musical one worked because they managed to tackle some of the deeper subjects through songs. So then all the fluff between Chapel and Spock got dealt with through a song rather than a load of exposition on an episode.
Yeah, like the character. Yeah, that's the thing. The thing that worked about the musicals, and Darren has actually talked about this in the past. And he's so right. Like when Star Trek does comedy well, you look at episodes like Trouble with Tribbles, right? Kirk, Spock, and all the rest of the characters were still their characters. They were just in an absurd situation, right? And with the musical, same thing. All the characters were themselves. It's just because, and they were even singing about why the heck are we singing, right? And because they didn't know what was going on. In this Muppet episode, it felt like they were making Muppet sound effects. They were making stupid Muppet jokes. It was just the Muppet Show in space, except voiced by all the Star Trek actors. And Jim Henson's workshop actually made the puppets, and the puppets look great. But
I still think that making a musical out of it is just plain hokey.
Like I said, it was the musical thing, like because when Spock was talking about, like, they ripped open this fissure in space and quantum blah 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 blah, and you can say that if you go into the many worlds hypothesis of quantum mechanics, then there is indeed a universe somewhere where everybody just randomly breaks out into song. And
for a bit more context, the idea was that Uhura was trying to do an exponential range through subsurface, increase the communications, and so she sent a catalogue of musicals. Mm-hmm. And what happened was she accidentally tore a hole in subspace, and it created a sort of
Terry,
Yeah.
Terry, my friend.
No, I'm giving you context for why it happened.
Something hokey with technobabble.
No, I was just explaining why it happened in the episode. I didn't even start any defense of it, Brandon. You listen to what I say, not skim me, not skim listen. Pay attention to what I'm saying. I'm telling you why it happened in the episode.
I know, but it's still technobabble.
There's no defense there. That's
Brandon,
literally just what happened.
You're 100% right that it's technobabble, but it's technobabble that stays within the rules of Star Trek, right? It's technobabble that makes sense based on what we know of Star Trek. Having the transporter.
You want to know what Star Trek doing comedy right is? That episode where Spock and T'Pring switched bodies. That was freaking hilarious. And
that was a lot better than this. And and the thing is, it says if you're going to do a transporter accident episode, which of course every series has done at least one transporter accident episode, then you could have someone go through the transporter and then come back as a Muppet and have it be like, oh my gosh, how do we fix this guy? But you don't have it so that the transporter turns everybody on the ship into Muppets. That makes no sense because they weren't in the transporter.
It makes sense if you're just desperate to find something interesting to write. You got a writer's room full of people.
I think the writers this season just had they had like, I don't know what it was, but every episode is derivative of something else. Every single episode this season is a direct derivative work based on something else. We had our the Hangover episode where we have the characters wake up not knowing what happened the night before. Pike had a tattoo on his face. Everything. It was the Hangover, except in Star Trek, right? We had the Casablanca, but Star Trek last week.
Dude, are you noticing a pattern here? When you got the writers constantly doing references to other movies and shows, sounds to me that like these writers don't really have a lot of faith in their own talent.
Or they just completely ran out of ideas, and they're just like, well, let's just rip off things we like. What do you like? And I like Casablanca. Great. Let's have a star that randomly makes things black and white and have Casablanca on this planet. Why not?
I mean, I will go with Niall there that, at least you haven't had the incident where everything gives them more asses.
Oh, God.
And ruins their dance moves, because they've now got 7 asses attached to them.
Terry.
An ass is an ass. Sorry, John, G-O-M. Yeah.
You just spoiled the season finale.
Oh, no. He's got bum eyes.
Pulling it back to Wild Space Saga, because Niall did have another question that we hadn't really.
Yeah, that was a real world question about
the education
dumb these days.
Young people is why did it freeze on me? Hang on. I can't. Suddenly, I'm trying to move off the cursor off the thing, and it's broken.
The education of young people is getting worse and worse. 16-year-olds that can't read. How do we address?
16-year-olds.
All right, I won't finish reading it out, Bree. That's fine.
I'm sorry, I was reading it, and then it finally got unstuck, and then started reading it at the same time you started reading it. So anyway, but it said the education of young people is getting worse and worse. 16-year-olds that can't read. How do we address the piss poor learning that we have, and what's to blame? That's actually a good question, because different planets are going to have different qualities of education. I mean, I guess in the case of Wild Space Saga, because dang it. Planet, you have different planets that are very multicultural. I mean, Saburna, for instance, is the most affluent world, but yet, I guess you could consider it, like we said several live streams ago, that it's sort of the United States of the colonies, and so you're gonna have a great deal of educational quality depending on where you are. For you go to Saburna Prime, which is its capital, and sort of the bright center of the universe. You have really high quality education there. But then there's a city that exists in one of our short stories that we haven't released. It's called Cinnabar, and it's kind of on the edge of the Badlands. And I guess you wouldn't exactly find the best quality education out there, A lot of people are homeschooled. Schools might not be quite so formalized, and so somebody coming in from Cinnabar is to Suburban Prime is going to be like Country Mouse meets City Mouse. Though in Cinnabar it's a lot of blue collar workers because they send a lot of gestalts there to get repaired. Because since it's right on the Badlands, they use the Badlands now for like fighting grounds for gestalts in areas where there aren't mines, for various precious materials. So yeah, those places are going to have maybe lower quality education, is what we're saying. And of course, worlds like Zhao, where you have an imperial quality education, which is going to be available for all. But of course, Zhao has so much stuff run by crime syndicates, so you're going to have a lot of people falling through the cracks.
It's a lot of very agenda driven education
Yeah.
in the Imperium.
There you go.
You know what we want you to know and what we feel you need to know. Yeah. I would also actually, as a slight segue, this song that we've got playing as the background one today. It's a particular character who she actually sort of picks up strays and wanderers and people, and she based herself on an island city on the world of Columbus, which is mostly water, so it's not easily accessible apart from her ship and a few boats. And these people that they range from everything from old space hippies, former tank soldiers, to even orphan children or children abused children, things like that. Give people a new life, and they've been slowly rebuilding parts of the habitation so that little bits of this city now they live in. And obviously they pass on each other the knowledge to each other. They help each other learn and build them. So they don't have any formal education system, but they've created a small community of people who then, when they're old enough, if they want to leave, they're welcome to, but they make sure they've got all the tools they need to succeed.
Yeah, you have plans like that where you have a lot of communities. Oh, and also space hippie fleets. They actually have on board schools that are very just similar to modern schools that we have. Nowadays maybe it's more technology, but of course, the availability of the technology is going to vary from fleet to fleet. But yeah, so you have even that. So there's a lot of different educational quality from planet to planet, and depending on where you are.
One of the fun things I did squeeze into Wild Space Saga is the fact that even then, millennia later, centuries later, vinyl has never died. And neither has physical books. Even now, people still have physical paper books. In fact, I use it for a dichotomy with some of the free tech tanks, because they've been plugged into digital systems their whole lives. Sitting there, seeing words on a page, feeling something in their hand that's real. They prefer. They like, give me this piece of physical media. My whole life has been digital until now.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely having physical media is still gonna be I hope it will be around even centuries and millennia later. I mean, hell, in Star Trek, people still read books. Now, of course, it's replicator technology. Making a book is going to be. Yeah.
It's one of our characters, Drusilla. She's very formal, very, she's like the hub mother and all that. But she has a secret vinyl collection, and when no one's looking, she'll put it on and have a little dance. And then if someone comes in, immediately, it gets hidden behind the curtain, and she's there all serious.
Yeah, and but yeah, I mean, what we're just trying to say is that you got availability, different things, education methods, that kind of stuff. Okay, I'd asked Ben. You mentioned something about the Prussian education method, and I was asking him what it was all about. It said basically the Prussian education method is more about conformity than actually learning. Well, that's what we were talking about when it comes to the Second Imperium. You're taking your basic education in the Second Imperium. It's heavily doctored, heavily propagandized. You do learn stuff, but it's definitely not going to teach you how to think. So people who don't opt for that or will, like places where you can get away with it, like Zhao, are probably maybe not have the highest quality education, but they're going to have a whole lot more freedom in what they can get. Well, more like not so much freedom, but because certain things are highly controlled. But places like Zhao where you can get a lot of stuff, you have the money. It's also going to be whether or not you have the money to afford getting all these different kinds of things, different books that might not be available because they're banned. That somebody might be able to bring it in through space pirates and whatnot. Well, very few space pirates risk going into Imperial space, but they have other means of smuggling. But anyway, yeah. So like a family of criminals on Zhao that has a lot of wealth may not opt for the.
I mean, you end up working for the accuser. They'll give you a lovely education, but you'll have to earn it.
High enough profile, the Imperium is going to be kind of keeping an eye on them, so they may send their children to an Imperial school. But at home, they're going to be given a whole lot of other things to read that wouldn't be available in the Imperium. And so they'll be a whole lot more knowledgeable on things that the Imperium doesn't want them to know. Even a person on the street who might only be able to grab, maybe grab things they can steal, or might have a collection of old books that maybe their family had held since the days of the arcs, will still have things that the Imperium won't necessarily allow them, but because they're so poor and on Zhao, they fall through the cracks, and the Imperium doesn't really care. Or they don't really know. Unfortunately, almost every nation on Earth uses some variation of the Prussian education method. Well, I mean, even in American schools, there is some level of conformity when it comes to what is being taught, and it depends on it varies from school to school where you are. Some states like Texas are more conservative, and other states like New York are going to be more liberal. And so yeah, it's gonna vary that way. And yeah, the U.S. is not one uniform culture. The cultures vary from state to state. Something really funny it's really fun when you see people like from other countries come to the States and they don't realize that, because they'll go across the border from Louisiana into Texas, and it is like you stepped into a completely different country, that just happens to speak the same language.
Well, that's actually conceptually, that's how this country was intended, though. I mean, it's like the colonies were all intended to be different colonies just under one banner. So as a protectorate, almost like a treaty. Yeah, and so the federal government was more or less just a regulatory body to maintain defense and interstate commerce, and it's just ballooned out of control.
Now that's how the alliance works in Wild Space Saga. They are very much similar to a government that's a little bit like the United States, though maybe not quite as. It doesn't have quite as many powers as the United States, because to borrow a quote from Pirates of the Caribbean, their charter is more guidelines than actual rules. But and that's one of the reasons why sometimes when it comes to the threat of the Second Imperium, they have a little bit of trouble getting their what together.
I described it once as they're a group of worlds who they don't necessarily like each other, but when you've got your big aggressive next door neighbor, you realize the benefit of sticking together.
Yeah.
Why are you pointing at Brandon when you say that?
Oh, I just realized I just realized my thumb was pointing that way, to be fair. Sorry, do you want me to do that instead?
No,
you're underneath me. You're underneath me.
I just figured your big next door neighbor you were talking about. Were you trying to imply that Brandon and
sorry, our big aggressive downstairs friend?
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, at least there's nobody up above, because we know what finger you'd be using.
Well, they haven't started complaining about the noise yet and banging on the ceiling, so we're good.
Oh wow, you got neighbors that live above you?
No, Brandon, it was a joke about this whole thing.
Well, yeah.
I thought maybe I thought you might have lived in an apartment. I don't know, but because I mean, hell, I used to live in an apartment. Did I ever tell you?
When I told you I share a house with my mother and her partner, Brandon.
Okay.
I live in an apartment in a house. Yeah.
Anyway, okay, I'm gonna move away from that.
When I video called you from the garage in the past, I mean,
Okay, I've seen apartments that have a garage. They have some. They have places like that even in the states. So
yes, but now I'm on a roll taking the mick out of you, so I'm enjoying it.
you
Although
always
you ever wonder, Brandon, how come people from Great Britain don't know how to pronounce garage?
That's because it's pronounced garage.
they don't know how
Unless
to
we
pronounce a lot of
spawn the
words.
language,
They,
we get to pronounce it how we want.
they
No,
pronounce so
no,
many
no, no,
things
no.
wrong. Terry and I go back and forth on that so much. It's really funny.
I mean, it's like they like to overcomplicate things, like aluminium. Really,
You're working on too
really.
many syllables.
Well, let's see how many elements end in ium and rather than. I mean, at least we actually spell sulfur properly and not with an F.
Actually, the town next door to my town is called Sulphur, spelled with a PH.
Yeah, but that's a name.
Okay, I'm just saying is that it was spelled. It's actually because we used to spell it that way, but they changed the spelling, and I think the town was established before that spelling was changed. Because trust me, you know when you're in sulfur because you can smell it in the air. There's a lot of industries that work with like petroleum and what you call extracting chlorine and whatnot from salt domes and down here. It's you go into some areas of the town and it stinks.
To be fair, Darren, we also like to add the word fuck between every other word occasionally too.
And by the way,
Yes, you Brits really love your F-bombs.
I got to, in the chat, he said, you can't win an argument when you're wrong. I have to respectfully disagree with that because watch any political debate.
Thank you.
That is a surprising comment
Especially
from
American
Niall,
political debates.
considering how many arguments he does try to win when he's blatantly wrong. In fact, he's died on so many hills, it looks like the graveyard in Evangelion.
God,
with all those.
Yeah. Okay, so we see that our man with no neck has asked another question. So any weird planets or stars? Thinking stars that burn coal, planets of meat, planets that are planets that are impossibly heavy, like gravity, like Farfallus from Outlaw Star. Yeah, actually. For one thing, there's a prison world called Hemlock 4, which has a lot of really funny weather. And by funny, we mean
it's
deadly.
tidally locked.
Yeah. And so it has a lot of gravitational issues. Well, effects of gravity, like lots of earthquakes and whatnot.
Now, let me ask you, since I don't know the details of your world, are we talking about stuff that is beyond the realm of what is real, or are you just making an extreme because if you use Venus, actual conditions on Venus as a prison planet, that would be pretty brutal, right?
Yeah, well, it's not quite like Helion from the Pitch Black universe, no, but
oh man, what was that? Crematorium? Is that what the name of that was?
Crematorium.
Yeah.
Where like the sun comes up and you just literally burst into flames.
Yeah.
Brandon wanted a prison world, and I was thinking, well, what kind of world would be interesting as a place where you wouldn't want to escape from it?
I'll tell you, if I were writing a sci-fi universe right now, and
oh no, you're back.
I was going to say, if I was writing a sci-fi universe right now, and I had to create a prison planet, I would put the prison in the center of a gas giant.
Oh yikes! Yeah.
Because how do you never escape?
Well, yeah. I mean, because we'd already come up with an idea for a story about the pirate rite of passage called the Hemlock Run, which is where they go and they try and rescue some of their brethren who are imprisoned there. Mm. I needed a planet that they could land on, but I'd recently learned about tidal locking at the time, and some of the extreme weather that can produce, like iron rain or hot lead as rain, because the the sunward side gets so hot
Mhm.
that it creates ridiculous, upper winds. It's enough to melt metal. And of course, the other side of the planet is freezing. So then it cools and it comes down as hot rain.
Well,
So
you gotta be
I
careful.
thought that would be an interesting thing.
Yeah, the one thing you got to be careful about with that now, if you care about these things, is that if you don't want to violate the real laws of physics, then you got to look at how thick is the atmosphere for that to work. Because like on Mercury, it's super hot on the sun side, super cold on the other side, but that's because Mercury has virtually no atmosphere. If you go to Venus, Venus is hot on both sides of the planet because it has a very thick atmosphere. Because the thicker the atmosphere, the more insulation it gets.
Pressure is ridiculous.
We're talking about one side of the planet.
But when you look into a lot of the exoplanet stuff, there are worlds out there, and it was the tidal locking side of things where they literally have iron rain because the one side of the planet gets ridiculously hot. And so what I did was basically they build the settlements on the Terminator where it's just about safe enough to exist without major heating, cooling systems and things like that. You can survive on the surface for a short period, enough to try and escape. If you know where your rescue is going to be and you can get there and you don't get shot in the meantime, there's a window, and that's what I created. And just the idea of them then having iron rain falling on them as part of a hazard.
That just sounds terrifying to me.
Yeah, it reminds me of if you've ever read a book called Dragon's Blood by Jane Yolen. It takes place on a planet called Alstar 4, which used to be a prison colony. And that planet has extreme conditions. One particular one is called Dark After, because the planet has extreme hot and cold on one side. During the daytime, the planet's a desert, but at night, it gets lethally cold because you have these 3 moons that reflect enough of the sun's heat and light that as long as they're in the sky, it doesn't get quite so cold. But as soon as those moons set, you have a period of time called Dark After, where if you don't find a shelter, and fortunately there are little shelters placed all around nowadays. The planet is a former prison colony. That if you don't find a shelter, you will die. And the main character Jack nearly did in one part of the book, because he was out there looking for his dragon. The dragons on that planet have like internal heating systems, so they won't die during Dark After.
Right.
But what I was trying to say when you were asking the question of like, are there really weird planets that seem to defy the laws of physics? Not so much that they defy the laws of physics, but they're like, we say like in the pre-history of Wild Space Saga, there was a tragedy, a crisis, and what happened after this, I don't want to go too much into detail, but this left many planets either wiped out their inhabitants or left them altered in very strange ways. One of these planets is a planet that on the outer edges of the colonies is a planet called Hulsk, where they found such things. And these creatures called Gorgon wraiths that exist on the planet, that if they basically if they touch you, they can transmute your molecules into various strange substances. Now these substances are highly valuable, unfortunately, and so the people who don't know about Hulsk are really people who are really stupid. They pass their ships by it. They're looking for precious minerals. The planet will read a crap ton of it, but they go down there and they're basically screwed, because Gorgon wraiths are invisible unless you have specialized things that can see them, and you basically just turn into another one of those minerals if they touch you. So, yeah, I have an idea for a story that we'll probably explore in a later book, because it has to do with a particular couple of characters that are going to be integral to everything coming together in the story. But like a person who actually survived on Hulsk. It's gonna be kind of interesting. If you know about the Genesis planet, it's a little bit like that.
Okay.
Let me see here.
What? They use proton matter.
Well, no, I was looking to see if there were any other questions right
Right.
quick. But
But cheating. I know Niall's on about his cold steam again.
oh God, the cold steam hot. Yeah, you weren't there. Michael,
Right.
last week when he
Noel
was talking,
joined the stream
when I was talking about cold
last
steam
week.
and hot ice, and
You
I
didn't get to
fell
meet
for a
him.
hook, line. I fell
You mean
for a hook,
fog?
line, sinker. You see, I thought he was talking about condensation.
Well,
No,
isn't-
he was just
Well, no,
just
they use
he was just going
cold
into complete
steam
total-
in AI data centers to cool them.
yeah, but he was going into complete and total BS and going full British deadpan, and it just went completely over my head.
So they were using water vapor.
You see, that's what
Yeah.
I thought.
Cold steam.
That's what I
Cold
thought.
steam's
But no,
water,
he was just doing a bit. Where he was just
It's-
talking about something
it's
that
like
made
I used
zero
to-
sense whatsoever.
When I used to work in one of my old jobs and we used to do breakfast for the patients, I used to ask them if they wanted raw toast.
Raw toast, yeah. So bread.
Yeah. Do you want your toast raw or do you want it medium?
Yeah, nothing quite like raw toast in the morning. How would you like some liquid butter?
Raw toast and butter.
Pour a nice tall glass of liquid butter and your raw toast.
Oh Lord! And I could totally make like an inside joke for
Yeah.
Wild Space Saga.
But so cold steam, yeah, it took Brandon a while, and I'm just going, oh god, oh no, I was at it again. You see, we used to have a lad we
could
knew
totally make
who
an
was
inside
the
joke
expert
about
at
that.
everything.
We could totally make an inside joke about that in Wild Space Saga, kind of similar to that Rebo and Zudi thing in Babylon 5. I loved how they had Penn and Teller play those two guys. That was so fun.
But yeah, the jokes like that stem from the lad who reckoned he knew anything about everything, and he was an expert on everything. So Niall once actually poured buckets of steam on, and then
I think he froze up there, Terry.
Yeah, Terry is.
His face finally
Terry
stuck
has
that
left the building.
way.
Those Brits and their crappy internet.
The way it's stuck on my screen looks like
and Niall will say anything with a perfectly straight face. So
Oh, there he is.
All right, there we go.
I'm here.
No, you weren't.
I'm here. I was talking. Yeah, no, because say the jokes,
You
the
were
jokes that
talking
came
to
from Niall
yourself.
that we talk about cold steam things like that was we used to have a lad who reckoned he was, he reckoned he was an expert on everything. No, you've gone again. It's you. You're the ones breaking up for me.
No, we can hear you now. It was just like your screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
breaking
you had a
up for me.
little-
No,
every
I'm
now
not
and again.
picking up on you.
Yeah, you had a little too much cold steam in him.
I don't understand what Finn meant about heart disease, but
It's
oh,
annoying.
liquid butter. Never mind. I'm not putting
Glass of liquid butter. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, so we do have weird planets in Wild Space Saga. You know, Holsk is probably the weirdest one, and you know, we were also exploring other ideas, and especially like other heretofore unknown alien races. Terry kind of hints at those things in his songs that his more recent ones with the villains.
Well, in Faction Focus Volume 2, you'll learn about the Heralds and the Vanguard.
Yep. And and as a matter of fact, and just a little spoiler for people, little spoiler, they do kind of rear their ugly heads a little bit in the current book that we are working on. So that one's unfortunately kind of hit a little bit of a slowdown, but that's really I know that you because you have to you've been having to work a lot, so but don't worry, we're still plugging away at it. That does remind me though.
Well, yeah, I've started a new job, and so
But that does
getting
remind me.
into new things. Finn, throw your question in. Finn. There is time. Never mind, Brandon.
Oh yeah. Today's my off day, so we can go over time, so we're good. Don't hesitate to ask.
Downstairs elevator, so you got to take the stairs to get to the elevator.
Oh Lord. Let me see.
Well, we used to send a lad. One job I did, we used to send a lad to the reception desk for a long wait.
For a long. Oh.
And then she'd tell him to wait there. 45 minutes later, he'd come back and go, "You bastards!"
Yeah, there's this place in Lafayette called Mills Diner, and it has a bunch of sarcastic stuff all over the wall. And one of the sarcastic sayings is, "Helen Wade is our customer relations manager. If you have a question, please go to Helen Wade." But Finn, you sure you don't want to ask? Right? Oh, okay, here we are.
One could want this lad who was a bit useless.
It's the best way to get a Felian wife. Talk to a Felian girl. I mean, I don't know what to say, man. They're not that hard to impress. Well, they're not. They're a lot like us. So, you just got, I guess, to impress.
It's like that old film, Felian Girls Are Easy. Yeah.
They're not that. No, as a matter of fact, that
was the old film, wasn't it? Felian Girls Are Easy.
I didn't share this with you, Terry. I just kind of posted it on a furry thing on DeviantArt, on Facebook.
Oh yeah, I forgot you're a furry.
Oh, good God.
Anyway, it was it was an animation I did with a Felian girl, and I just had her say it was like you would be talking to her, and she goes, "Pleasure House? I'm not that easy, honey." So yeah, no, they're not that easy unless you want one in a pleasure house. But you want to get a Felian wife, you're gonna have to work. How did what's her face God dang it, Game of Thrones, Cersei Lannister, how does she say it? He wants a whore, buy one. He wants a queen, earn her. So that's kind of how that goes. Yeah. But yes, Michael, I do kind of consider myself a furry, though not like the fursuit wearing kind. Just have an appreciation of the art style.
And, for some reason, he feels I need to vomit occasionally and sends me the pictures.
Yes, I do that because you love taking the piss. So that is my way of taking the piss.
It doesn't. It just horrifies me.
That he's a furry?
It just makes me hate you. I mean,
nah, I don't hate. I don't do it as often because it did kind of piss him off after a time. So I dialed it back
because I don't like it, and I've never been able to reconcile it, and I never will be able to reconcile it.
And I don't expect.
I only accept them in this story because they are the aliens and they're a major part of the story.
And like I said, I
have no choice but to accept them.
Yeah. I mean, in all fairness, I was actually inspired by an alien race from Tenchi Muyo called the WoW, and so I was like started playing around with artwork, my own, trying to draw them, something like that myself, and it took a very long time to figure out how to do it because drawing an anthropomorphic animal character is actually very different from drawing a human character. And I had to learn how to get the facial features and dimensions done properly. And fortunately, I had a friend who we had kind of a mutual friend who was also kind of really into the furry thing, and he was always wanting to do drawings of them, though his drawings were really simplistic. I had a friend who was a really good artist, and she was trying to teach him how to draw him better, and I kind of started learning how to do it, just recalling how she did the drawings when she was showing him. So it all sort of got coming together over time. I can show you old drawings I did of them and how they look really, really bad compared to what I do now. It looks a whole lot better. Open a can of worms. Not exactly. This is something that we've
not at all. In fact, I've done renders of the Felians now.
Yeah, this is something we talked about a lot anyway. I mean, this is something that's been part of Wild Space Saga since we began Wild Space Saga. So, I just thought I said there was
it was part of Brandon's original concept before I even came on board.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I would never have expected him to completely remove something that is a core pillar of his original concept.
So furries is a core part of it.
Well,
unfortunately, yes.
Like I said, fortunately, like I said, they're not quite what people when they talk about furries get this sort of thing, this vision in mind, and I don't blame them because some people who consider themselves furries are yes, they are some head cases.
I'm just wondering if you're like the kind of person that one of these days is going to be inspired to want to get 101 Dalmatian puppies to make a coat out of.
Oh God! And trust me, I've seen some. I've watched videos, video documentaries on some of the. I've watched video documentaries on some of the fruitier cases in the furry community that quite frankly scared the living daylights out of me. But no, fortunately, I'm not like that at all. Okay. And those are the ones that give that community a really bad name. So, but anyway,
wait, they had a good name?
Unfortunately, there's other alien race in the Wild Space Saga that are not a furry race. They're the Blissians, which I actually really love the design I made from them, little sort of centaur cone heads. But so we do have more than just that, and then plus another alien race, which will be revealed as things progress in the books. So you got Brainworm by Minerva Mink.
Terry has disappeared on my screen.
Yeah, Minerva Mink was my first, but
is Terry still there on your screen, Brandon?
Uh-oh, looks like his screen kind of blinkered out.
It's that British internet. I'm telling you guys, this is the proof of American superiority. So we got better internet.
It's gonna tear you a new one when he gets back.
Victory is ours.
Victory is mine. I'm gonna give him a couple minutes to see if he's able to come back. If not, we're gonna have to go ahead and wind it down.
Well, it's about that time. So
yeah, it is. And I'll send him a message and let him know that we're gonna go ahead and wind it down. But anyway. So I mean, just all in all, like I say, I'm not gonna harp on the whole furry thing because we've done that before, and I don't want, people.
No, well, you know what? I'm more okay with your furriness in your story than I am with Muppets and Star Trek. So, I'll accept it.
There you are, because we're about to wind things down, Terry, and I was worried that we'd have to do that without you.
Wind things down? Is that a thing? Because I always thought it was like wrap things up.
I've also heard wind it down. But
I've heard wind up, but I've never heard wind down.
Yeah, maybe that's just a local thing. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a saying.
Okay. Well, anyway, guys, I think that's pretty much all we can do for today. But so for those of y'all who have joined us,
in that case, I'll get my quick plug in for the new project.
Go ahead.
Because otherwise Brandon likes to finish the show before I get to say it.
I think Terry is in a completely different time-space continuum right now.
So you can already hear the background song, and I've been working for the last 2 weeks writing these ones.
Yeah.
Oh, the fucking connection's pissing me off now.
Well, we can hear you. You sound kind of far away, though.
And what we do here seems to have nothing to do with what we see.
It seems like he's lagging.
Yeah. Like a lot.
That's probably because the connection is being really shitty on me.
Yeah, your connection is terrible today.
Yeah, but so I'll go ahead and plug it though, man. So what Terry was saying is that we are doing, of course, as we always do, music that is based on Wild Space Saga. We got a new thing coming out. We got Ne'er-do-wells and Wanderers that we've been posting on our YouTube channel. You can follow us here on YouTube to get some more of that incredible music and also other things that are coming down the pipe. I've kind of been dragging my feet. I want to do a cool trailer for each of our Wild Space Saga books that
Cool.
touches on elements of the books that are going to be doing like animations of certain parts of the books, all kind of put together with a nice little musical background. I'm going to be working on that really soon. We have of course, we have our DeviantArt page, and I've been releasing our little short comic that's called New Recruits. I just released a new page the other day, so if you want to go check it out, you can go ahead and Hey, Terrence is getting pissed off with Enter the Studio. Hang on a second. Okay, can you hear us now, Terry? Probably not. Still seems like it's lagging on his end. Well,
I'm trying using the phone.
oh, okay.
Yeah, he's not lagging. He's just on a different device.
Hey, there we go. I'm on my bloody phone now. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can hear you. I was asking if you can hear us.
Yeah, I can hear you. It's through my phone, so,
Yeah.
you know,
What
suddenly
kind
these earphones are a waste of time.
what kind of phone is it?
Yes.
It's a yes phone. Okay.
So what I was doing, dude, I kind of did the plug for the music because I knew you were.
Yes,
having
but
some,
now I can, and I can do it better than you, so, you know.
Okay, go ahead. And
Like
do
I
it
said,
better than me.
it was before I managed to churn out all those previous ones because I'd had pre-written lyrics. Everything all worked out. The reason I hadn't done anything for 2 weeks in the current one is because I've had to write all new material for it to go with it. So I'm going to start posting it from tomorrow night, and this song, today's background song, will be included. I don't know if it'll be the first one. I haven't decided on my track order yet. I'll work that out tonight, but hopefully you'll enjoy the next lot. These are people that don't feature heavily within the stories, but they have a big impact. Their actions actually have a major impact in sort of as the story goes.
All right. And so there you have it, guys. Ne'er-do-wells and wanderers, that's what it's all about. And as I was also saying, I'm going to be putting some really amazing animations up on our YouTube page as well. And I already talked about that. And like I said, I'm working on a web comic that is called New Recruits. I've been doing like multiple pages. I think I got up to page 10 recently, just the other day. It has been posted on our DeviantArt page, and you can see all that with a lot of our incredible concept artwork that we've done for Wild Space Saga over the many years. And of course, we do have our X account, our Instagram accounts. X account, I do special little announcements here and there, give you previews of the stuff that we're working on. Terry's got his Instagram account, so he's going to keep you abreast on new updates for our music and anything that's any kind of artwork that's AI related, because we don't usually put that on our DeviantArt page. But if you don't mind AI art, and we put together some really cool renditions of our stuff, you can check it out on the Instagram page. And of course, guys, and you can always come over here every Saturday at 3 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. GMT for those of our friends across the pond, and join us. And we had 5 people join us today, and it's more than we've had, I think, ever. So we're really happy about that. Hope we can get things growing. Please come join us. Come check us out. And hey, pick up our amazing books. Catch them where fine books are sold, and on Amazon in paperback, hardcover, and of course ebook format. And so we'd like to thank you. Oh, and everything down there, all the links are down there in the doobly-doo for you. And so once again, we'd like to thank you for joining us, guys, and we hope that you'll stay lucky and stay blessed. And this is Brandon Hill and Terrence Bakes, and of course our grumpy old man Michael, speaking for Wild Space Saga. I hope you join us again next time on the Northwest Passage. See you later.
See you later, folks.